Hey everybody, this is Miss Florida Hot Picks here, giving you guys another update workout for Pick 3 North Carolina. So many requests for North Carolina, and normally I do the 317 rundown, but this time I'm going to switch it. We're working on the 1-2-3 rundowns. Hopefully give you a different twist and different way to start looking at your numbers. With the 1-2-3 rundown, I want you to pay attention to key box areas. Okay, I used to have quite a few videos on key box areas, which were really hot, but the problem, I didn't have key digits and I wasn't using a whole lot of triples at the time. So now with all that information combined, hopefully it's a lot easier for you guys. I do go back and forth with the 317. I like to look around triples as well. When things start getting cold, guys, switch over to different rundowns. Sometimes you have to do that, right? So let's start. We're going to backtrack a few days back. We're going to start with January 5th. Now, the day game, there was a 756 hit. You notice we're putting it here. And now we got to fill out the grid. So how do we do that? We're actually going to add each of these numbers down the columns. So for the first number, we're going to add 1 all the way down. So let's do that. 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. For your 2-digit numbers, only use your ones plus your 0. Okay? 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 1 is 4, 4 plus 1 is 5, 5 plus 1 is 6, 6 plus 1 is 7. You know that you did it right. The number you start with will be the number you end with. Then we would add 2 all the way down the second column, 3 all the way down the third column. Once you have everything completed, I want you to start paying attention to what you call your key box areas. And that's where your doubles and mirrors cross each other. Notice here there's a 9, 9. What's crossing it is its mirrors, 7, 2. See those? They're actually the same number, they're just opposite of each other. It's almost like saying 7, 7 or 2, 2. So let's talk about mirror numbers for a minute. Okay, when we're talking about mirrors, we're saying the same number, just opposite. So let's take the number 0. 0 could be a 5 or 5 could be a 0. Okay, 1 could be a 6, 6 could be a 1, 2 could be a 7, 7 could be a 2. Okay, 3 could be an 8, 8 can be a 3, 4 can be a 9, and a 9 can be a 4. Okay, those are the mirror numbers. So in case some of you newbies out there might need that, you have it. And if you don't believe in mirrors, this will not help you. Just totally not get this. Okay, so make sure you study and know what your mirrors are. They're generally on the right side. Okay, and again, you're going to see a double and mirror crossing each other. So notice here, halfway down the rundown, the numbers start again, but they're all mirrors of each other. Like it started with 756. Once you get to the midpoint, it becomes 251. They're the same number, they're just opposite. Those are what you call mirror numbers. Okay, so that's how that works. So the numbers will be slightly different. Why? Because they're mirrors. Okay, so I would suggest maybe look in both areas. It just depends on what's going on. But I do want to share something with you, because you're looking at these boxes, and the problem I had years ago when I started doing these videos is, where are the main 2 numbers coming from within the box, right? That was like such a deal for me, because if you can go in different directions, that's a lot of different combinations, right? I don't know how many of you guys, you see kind of workouts like this, but you're like, okay, but where are we going with this? Well, it took me a little bit. I was scratching my head, and then finally the numbers pop. And I hope that when you see these areas, you're going to start locking in and say, oh my goodness, I got it. I got it, because it took me a minute. Okay. What I want you to do is, once you square off your key box areas, you notice this is 7299, 7749. Okay. All they did was just mirror those numbers. I'm noticing for your 2 hottest numbers, the 2 numbers either on the bottom box or the top box are your hottest pairs. Okay. Now, to try to condense, because those are just the pairs, you still need the third numbers to go with it, right? That could be a little tricky sometimes. But if you can get your pairs down, that could really be helpful. I want you to take your mind to this left side here. Okay, you have a 4-9. Here you have a 9-9. Right above that area, you're going to see some slants. Sometimes they're mirrors like the 7-2, and sometimes they're doubles like the 7-7. Okay, so make sure you locate this area. This could have saved me so much time this evening, but that's okay. Hopefully with this little trick you'll kind of figure it out. To determine if you're going to use the top pairs or maybe the bottom pairs, and sometimes they still use what they want to, but pay attention to this 7-4. Okay, you notice how this 7-4 is connected to this 2-7, which is on top of that 4-9, right? Pay attention. This is your hot area. Okay, so that 7-4 hot pair, that's a hot pair. Okay, because they're connected to the numbers that are slanted right on top of your mirrors or your doubles. On this grid, 7-9 could be hot, right? And then maybe that 7-7, why it's connected on top of there. This when I tell you, it was taking me a little minute, but I got it. That's okay. So let's just start with this 7-4. Okay, so generally speaking, a lot of the numbers going around could be something, especially anything that duplicates. Pay attention to that. Okay, like you see a 7-4, you see a 5 and 0. Those are the same numbers. Let me see here. Your 1 and 1, those are the same numbers. Okay, but you notice there's 4, 9 and 4. This 4 comes back again. That's your false triple here. So pay attention to anything like that. Okay, so you got your 4-7-4. Pay attention to this number. It came the next day, 4-7-4, January 6th, right here. So we picked up our hottest pairs. It was connected to the upper where the mirrors were, and then they used the third number 4. They could have probably used any numbers that touch, but I noticed a lot that anything connected to another double or triple could be probably your hottest numbers, North Carolina. Was that hot or what? Now, they did have another hit that came off of here, but it took a few days. And I noticed it wasn't connected to this, and that's probably the reason why it did. But look at this, 920, 920, okay? Notice the 0, 5, 5. See how they're all connected? Look for the numbers that are, maybe I would probably say like that hit around 3 times. Those are probably going to be your hottest 3rd digit number. So you have your 092, but that took a few days. It actually showed itself up in other rundowns that was easier to determine. So we'll go there. Okay. So yeah, you could have went 7-4, 7-4-4, 7-4-3, 7-4-2, you know, just giving yourself some options. If you wanted to use the 7-9, 7-9-7, 7-9-6, but again, pay attention to the numbers that are more than twice. Okay, those are the pretty hot numbers, so pay close attention. But it was the 4-7-4 that actually got it, and that was the next day, and it went day to day, day to day. That was awesome. Okay, so far so good. Go ahead and hit that like. I appreciate that. That was my problem, just determining what were the 2 hottest pairs, how are they connected. Because if you're not careful, even though they're in these small boxes and you think, oh, I've eliminated so many other numbers, sometimes it could still be overwhelming because you still have to match up a 3rd number. You have to figure that out, right? Okay, so hopefully those tips will help you narrow that down. Notice another thing, the hottest ones will have triples coming through it, or they'll be V-shaped. Those will be your hottest ones. Okay, so the ones I'm going to show you first, they inside the boxes, they have triples, because not every rundown will have triples inside those boxes. So you have to be careful. Hopefully that'll eliminate so many to look at. So hopefully that was a hot tip for you. Okay. All right. So this one has, you notice these 9s in here. Wow. So that's a V-shaped triple. So this is letting me know that this is pretty hot. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing. because I need to find out which pair going across could be the hottest. Is it going to be the 7-9 or the 9-2? Okay, so I'm looking at this 9-2 real hard. Why? If you look at the left side double, this is your starting point. This is why I said you have to have a point of reference. A lot of people don't have a point of reference, and they'll say, oh, just pick this, this, and that. And then you'll play all these numbers and you'll still be off. And you're like, wow, this is what I'm saying. Study your state. Pay attention. So look at the doubles, just like we had mirrors and doubles. Pay attention to the pair. Sometimes they'll be doubles. Look at the 9-9 going up. Here's a 6-1. Look at the 4-9 going up. So this is the area that you want to be in, right? Okay, so look at that. This is the area you want to be in. So wherever that kind of touches, pay attention to that. I would probably in that 9-2. And 7-9 could have been okay. I wouldn't say it wouldn't work. I'm not saying that at all. But just pay attention to how they're kind of maneuvering, how they're touching the you want them to connect. Okay, just like this 2 and this 7 here, the box that it connects in, those are the boxes you want to probably stay in. Okay, so the 9-9 came here. You notice it didn't come here, it came here to this area. So this is why that 9-2 is probably the hottest. So you have your 9-2 pair, that's your hot pair now. Okay. And then again, I'm looking for a third number, and I'm looking for a number that repeats itself more than twice if possible. If you notice, you have a 5, 5, 0. So if I was going to make them up, okay, I would probably go 920, 925. Okay, whenever you see a hot number, that's why you got to know your mirrors, because you probably wouldn't know that. You see the 5-5s here, but pay attention to this area too. So this whole area, pay attention to what keeps coming up more than twice. That could be your hottest tip. Again, when I did this years ago, I wasn't thinking on those terms. So I would get so frustrated, especially with Florida. I would always get the pairs. I would always be one off because I didn't even select the right third number. So hopefully this will help you eliminate that worry. Now, if they change, you change with it. Nice. Okay, so what hit, and it actually came across, which is even better. 029, it hit January 8th, evening or night game. Now you notice it was daytime, but I want to share something with you. Sometimes you're going to have things that come up again. If it hits the second time, you may want to use that day or evening. So for instance, watch this. This 902 came up again. We're going to go to 848, January 7th in the evening or night game for North Carolina. And again, we're looking at this particular one. It happened to have triples. Not all of them are going to have triples. That can help you eliminate which rundowns to even use. I'm not saying patterns and numbers won't hit off of there. You'll still see stuff. But I'm just trying to get your eye to maneuver to what is the possible hottest pairs and hottest numbers. So we have here, look at that 7-2 on the top. So wherever that number is touching into that box, that's where we want to go across. So 02 was your hot number. Okay, now this one was a little different, because 029 is here. I do have a 9 and 4. I do have that. I would have probably chosen 8, right, and been wrong. So even though it's more than 2, they didn't go with that option. They actually just went with 029. But because it came here first, it popped up again, and then it finally hit 029. So again, you just have to be careful, okay? You have to be careful. The numbers are here, and they are connecting. Sometimes they're L-shaped, and sometimes they're going across, and then sometimes they're doing another pattern. So again, you have to just be careful, but hopefully this will give you an idea of where you want to look. It keeps you focused on that, right? Right, okay? So yeah, that 092. Now notice here from this point when it came back again, it went night to night. All right. So my suggestion is, if you see it twice, maybe pay attention to where the original third number was, or you'll have options. So even if I did put 028, because I would have probably did that 028, 023 if it touched. No, it didn't touch it. Okay. If I was going here, I would have did that 203, which is the same thing. 203. Oh, I was using the top, I'm sorry. 078. Okay, 078. I guess that's the only thing it touches. I mean, unless you're looking at it from here. But anyways, I would have just used those 028, 078, and then still use that 920, 925. And I would have held on to those. Okay, so make sure you're careful. So yeah, I like using where it has 3, but give yourself options. Okay, because they could, you know, do other things. All right, so those were the basics. Now here is one that kind of went off. And this is when you have false trips and triples going across. They could be different. There's nothing slanted the way it was here because all the triples are lined up. Okay, so you don't have really a baseline. This one went underneath. It totally went. Remember, all the numbers were going to the top slanted. This one went to the bottom. So if you see a triple or false trip going across, instead of using the top, maybe sometimes use the direction here. But 523 actually hit for North Carolina January 9th day game. Okay, so I wanted to share with you how these things emerge. I know people want to look for the numbers in one place every time, but you have to look at how the numbers are operating inside the rundown. Okay, the numbers, they're here, you know, and as you see, this is a pretty hot pattern if you're using the 1, 2, 3 rundown. So if you have any questions, let me know. I hope this is an eye-opener, especially if you're trying to narrow down, you know, what's what. But yeah, this is really hot. So I wanted to hurry up and get this out to you guys. I had quite a few folks from North Carolina wanting to update for a new pattern, a new rundown. So here it is. Well, anyways, guys, I hope this is helpful. Let me know how you are doing with it in the comments, and we'll see you on the next video.